welcome to, what is it, day 4? Is it day 4 of the WTA finals here in Riyadh? And yeah, just want to say a big welcome to you all, and thank you for so many of you that are joining, either if it's not on YouTube, you're listening to the podcast as we're putting them out daily. As I've said all week, really, obviously this is it's something new, right? And I think it's, if I just say a few words on this very quickly, Control the Controllables started 4.5 years ago now, back at during that very difficult time for us all, as COVID kind of took over the world and completely changed how many of us were living and put us in that sort of position. And one of the proudest things when I reflect back on what we did at the Soccer Tennis Academy at that time was everyone was saying you can't do something, and we actually started the You Can campaign. It was, well, you can do, there's lots you can do, when things aren't going the best way, there is opportunity elsewhere. And one of the things that we said we could do is we could do some live streams and Instagrams, and we could then we said we could try a podcast. And obviously here we are 4.5 years later, 240 episodes later, and we've just had a lot of fun doing it. And one of the things we've always wanted to do is innovate and try different things. And we've had live shows in person. We thought this could be quite a cool thing, that maybe it's something that we'd look at doing during Grand Slams or some of the bigger tournaments in the air. So we've done this the last 4 days now in Riyadh, WTA finals. And I'm sorry I pushed it back an hour this evening. That got pushed back because Gabby Dabrowski, Erin Routleth, who I'm out here, who I coach and I'm out here with at the WTA finals, they had a surprise. They told me earlier in the day, this afternoon, they had a surprise for us. And as I was driving but it was at 9 o'clock tonight, and if I could push this back an extra hour. And as we were driving to the tennis, I looked and I saw a football stadium. And this, I hadn't really noticed the stadium before, but the football stadium was there. It was kind of buzzing. There was people around. And I kind of turned and I thought, I wonder who plays there. Oh, that Al-Nassr. I've heard of that team. Is that not the team Cristiano Ronaldo plays for? And then I was like, I wonder if there's some link here. So I said to the driver, I said, is that Al-Nassr? Is that where Cristiano Ronaldo plays? And he said, yeah. And I said, do they happen to play at 9 o'clock tonight? And he said, yeah, they do. And I was like, I've cracked the code. I knew what the surprise was. And they basically, WTA were given 30 tickets pitch side. We were literally in the dugout. And the players went, and obviously priority went to players. And earlier this afternoon, a couple of extras became available, and the girls had asked if they could take the support team, and eventually they said no at first. It was just for players, but then as tickets became available. So an amazing surprise for me. I'm not Cristiano Ronaldo's biggest fan, but I've never seen him in person. I did see Lionel Messi a couple of years ago at French Open. I went to see his last ever game at PSG, and I just think, sporting greats. I'm a massive sports fan. So when you get a chance to see some of these sporting greats play, and I have to say, incredible experience. They were playing against Al Hilal, who is their local derby. So it was like the biggest match of the season. The crowd were crazy. It felt like you were like a Borussia Dortmund sort of match. These kind of crazy big European clubs, the way that the crowd got into it. The match finished 1-1. For any football lovers out there, he was coming across all sorts of Premier League or ex-Premier League players. João Cancelo, Alexander Mitrovic, Sadio Mane, and great entertainment. And yeah, big thanks to the WTA for setting that up. And I have to say, one of the most pleasing things of this evening was I saw lots and lots of children. I saw lots and lots of women. I saw lots and lots of boys and girls that were at the football, very much enjoying family evenings at the football. And I also had a lot of people kind of come up to us and the girls and say, thank you so much for coming to play at the WTA finals event. It really felt like you could be in any European city, except it didn't feel like there was too much going on because you can't have alcohol. So everyone's obviously a little bit calmer maybe at these football matches than having the alcohol inside of them. But that was this evening. If all we're going to do tonight, I don't have a guest coming on, but I would say send your questions in. We got a belter of a question a couple of days ago, and I've been holding on to it. And it's from a good friend of mine, Craig Evans. Brilliant guy, brilliant tennis coach, top tennis player as well. Big supporter of the podcast, and a big shout out to Bino, because really from the word go, he's been such a support and advocate. And I guess the podcast has run on. It's run on support, right? It's, you get these messages of support. We don't make any money from this, and we love doing it, but the messages of support and people enjoying them is the fuel that we use to set the next ones up and to stay motivated and keep moving forward. And Bino, you've certainly been that. So top lad. And the question he asked is, could I build the ultimate player from the singles players at the WTA tour? And he's given, from serve, return, forehand, backhand, net play, slice and variation, defense and movement, mentality and personality. And I haven't actually spent a lot of time thinking about this. I wanted this to kind of come as we were talking, and that's what today's going to be about. But if there is any more questions at the end, I will answer them. Otherwise, I will give you my WTA singles ultimate player, and then I will leave you to it this evening, and then we will be back tomorrow evening. I'm hoping to have a guest with me for us to discuss the Sunday lineups. We discussed the Saturday lineups a couple of nights ago. The tournament starts here tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. local time, the first doubles match, 6 p.m. local time for the first singles match. And we'll go through that tomorrow as what the experience was. What was the crowd like? That's what we're still kind of waiting to see. How is the crowd going to show off the atmosphere on the centre court? So let's get to it. Please do send yours in. I'm sure some people will disagree. But if we start with the serve is a difficult one, because when you go through the names, right, you're like, Sabalenka served really well. Certainly then Krejcikova can serve very well. You start to write a few people off. Jess Pegula, second serve, it was better. I do believe that she could be a multiple winner. The second serve let it down. I think we've always seen it. Coco Gauff, big matches that served too many double faults, tried to look double faults against Sabalenka, and only lost it for the third in Wuhan finals. Probably he's not known for serve. So I think it comes down to really the two big girls, the two that have made their career over the last few years, with the serve being a big part. But I'm going to go for a Bakina on this one. Whether she's serving well this week, we will see. But when she gets her serve going, puts a beautiful serve. She hits the spot. She serves big, good speeds, and it's coming from 6'3". So Rybakina is my pick for the serve for the ultimate WTA finals player. Return of serve is almost impossible. It's like, and it's actually been probably the biggest thing. I haven't worked on the ATP side for many years, and then the last couple of years also spending now a lot of time at the top end of the WTA game. The return is so good, maybe because the serves aren't as dominant on the women's tour, and I'm talking maybe more doubles where I've got more experience now, but the returns are so good that what then happens is you end up in play a lot, because the serve is coming back, and it's coming back. Obviously, second serves the first chance to get that first big hit in, but the return's coming back in play. So what you then end up having is you end up having points. Whereas you watch men's doubles, it tends to be served to a spot, return doesn't come back with quality, point over. And that's why I think women's doubles are so exciting to watch. And if you're not watching it, I think you should. But in terms of the returners, they all return pretty well. But for me, Jess Pegula sticks out. As I said before, I think if her second serve was up to speed, that ball just keeps coming back with Jess, and it's underplayed how hard Jess Pegula hits the ball as well. She can sometimes revert to playing too far back, but that return comes back into play time and time again, and it comes back with quality. It's a clean strike. So even though there's maybe a couple there that would be pushing Jess, I think I'm going to take Jess Pegula as our returner. Yeah, you might agree. If you agree, disagree, put it in the chat. Let me know. Give me some stick. I can take it. I've got some thick skin. But it's all about opinion, right? But I'd love to hear your opinion on this as well. And I'll move now into the forehand. Again, forehands. You're looking around. Iga Swiatek's forehand on a slower court, in particular on a clay court, a slow hard court. What she does so beautifully well that, you know, if you watch Iga play, she I say this a lot. A tennis court is not rectangle. It looks rectangle. A tennis court, it opens up. You know, if you're playing tennis properly, it's about almost having that rectangle at the start, and then it opens up into that triangle. And I remember watching Iga play live in Indian Wells this year or last year, and almost every forehand she got, and it was such a lesson for youngsters to watch. She got that ball like breaking through that sideline, not just going through it, like penetrating through. And I always talk about almost like having cling film that goes up along the line, like does the ball bounce and go through the cling film? And Iga was just doing it time and time again. And once that ball is accelerating off the court through that sideline, the world's her oyster, right? You know, what do you do? People don't. Well, we know that when people move 2-3 meters to the ball, their success rate of winning the point goes down significantly. The space that's created, the options that then open. So Iga will be up there. Time will tell. I have picked her for this event, but I think time will tell. At the courts are maybe a little bit skiddier and faster than I maybe first thought. They are kicking up a bit, but they are quite skiddy, which maybe I'll stick with Iga. But I think maybe she's going to take a couple of matches to get used to that ball coming through. But the one I want to actually give this to is someone who's had an incredible year, but not only an incredible year. And I know we're talking about a forehand, but she is a delight. She is a delight. And I, again, seeing her today, just walking around, big smile on her face. And that is Paolini. And I've watched her in practice this week. And it's like the beautiful thing on the forehand, which we can do different to the backhand, is we can freeze the anticipation. So you can kind of hold a forehand, you can hold it, and then you can manipulate what happens. So it's an incredible shot because you can do so many different things with it, and that's what I love about the forehand, and it's why it's such a dominant shot in tennis. And boy, oh boy, can Paolini do that. You know, like she's like 5'0" and she's standing on the baseline, and it's just like electric. And, you know, she can manipulate that ball incredibly well. She has had a brilliant year, finalist of Roland Garros, finalist at Wimbledon. I don't think she'd ever won a match at Wimbledon, I believe, up until this year. Maybe one main draw match. And it's a big part down to that forehand. You know, it's not a bad backhand, but it's not a great serve. So for her to be able to competing when physically she's down on a lot of these girls, I have to say Paolini is my pick for the forehand. It's a thing of beauty. And the backhand. Young, beautiful backhand. Saw her striking that today. It was a different noise. I'd watched a couple of people. I was having a couple of calls, and the way the court is set up, you've got the players' lounge, but then you also have like a little seat outside as well. And it's like I was just sat on there, and it was like, okay, that's this is a nice little spot because you're picking up. And Zheng went on. She'd obviously been playing on practice courts, and she'd obviously been on the main centre court, and she'd come off to get some extra reps. You know, that's what the players will tend to do, get their specifics. You know, on the centre court, maybe they're playing their points, but then they'll use the outside courts to get their specifics, their extra feeds, their extra reps. And this noise coming off her backhand was absolutely stunning. She needs an absolute shout out. Krejcikova, beautiful backhand. Sabalenka, Rybakina. Yeah, I mean, I could name them all, right? Because the backhand tends to be a shot of beauty. But I haven't got Coco Gauff down yet, and considering, I mean, I love Coco. She's incredible athlete, incredible in so many ways. But I think the numbers on her serve don't lie. You know, she's serving a lot of double faults, and the serves let her down. The facts on the forehand there, you know, she's obviously continuing to put work in, but the forehand does let her down at times. Yet she's competing and she's winning Grand Slams. And if you want to know how to lose to Coco Gauff, you play her backhand, and you watch it. You give her one backhand, give her two backhands, you're in trouble. You're almost immediately in trouble. And because of that, Coco Gauff is my pick for the backhand that I would take. If she could just have a couple of other things, the serve and the forehand a little bit higher, I think she's a multiple Grand Slam winner. She moves incredible. She's an incredible character. She's got so many things, but the backhand really is truly sensational. The next one, net play. Hardest one, I think. I think it's a hard one because there's not that many of these girls that spend so much time at the net, and if they are, they're drive volleying. I was kind of looking at this and I'm thinking, who is it? Who does come to the net? And the only one that jumps to mind, and this is maybe more for a doubles prowess that she's had, multiple Grand Slam winner, Barbora Krejcikova. You know, I don't know how many it is, but with Siniakova, I think it was 6 or 7 Grand Slams that she won. And if you watch her on the doubles court, she has a real nice, she's handy, right? She knows where the ball is. She knows how to knock it off. And the way that she plays the game, she doesn't find herself maybe on the singles court at the net as much, but I think she's shown over the years what she does have at the net, and it's because of that I will pick her as our net player in our ultimate player WTA finals. And next one, slice and variation. I'm going to be a bit naughty here because without a shadow of a doubt it would have been Ash Barty, but she retired, unfortunately. I think we all miss Ash. You know, I saw her playing in the oldies. It felt wrong at Wimbledon. You know, she was playing in the Legends kind of event, and I was like, nah, she should be playing the real event. You know, you're young, you're athletic, you've still got the game. But Ash Barty obviously brought that in abundance, right? Beautiful slice. And it was actually, if I go to Indian Wells, I want to mention this player. In Indian Wells, it was actually Ian Hughes, who was at the time Magna Linnet's coach. And was it Ian? No, it wasn't Ian Hughes. What am I talking about? It was Svitolina. Svitolina played her. So anyway, I now don't know who it was, but it was someone who, with Svitolina, played against Emma Navarro when Emma Navarro's ranking wasn't so high. And I was told after that match by a couple of people, watch out for this Emma Navarro. She's serious, and she's like the first one since Ash Barty that does so much with the ball. And now Emma Navarro, why this is a bit naughty, is I up until today thought she was the alternate because she was the next highest. Now I don't know what happened, if she got injured. I don't know if, you know, she pulled out or she just decided she was preparing for next year. But Danielle Collins is here as the alternate in the singles. But I'm going to put Emma Navarro in there because she by far for me has the best slice and variation in a game on the women's tour. I know she's not technically at the WTA finals. She did finish number 8 on the race. Krejcikova leapfrogged her because of her win at Wimbledon, and then it seems like she had for whatever reason. But I would find it hard push to look past Emma Navarro. Otherwise, maybe Sabalenka, the way she's actually practicing it. If you watch her on the practice court, she is doing loads of slicing and loads of dropping. And then also Ons Jabeur, you know, Ons Jabeur's here. She was at the football tonight. She maybe deserves a mention as well because she's here, and we all know how incredible she is with her slices and her variations. And then the defender, the mover. Coco, you'll not be happy with me because I'm not picking you. You've been picked already. As you might see, I'm trying to give everyone one here. You know, they're the best players in the world. They've had incredible years. Everyone deserves a mention. And when I'm trying to fit it all together, as good as Coco is as a mover, and she is, I think the best defender, the best mover. And I think there's an argument in this that over the last 2 or 3 years, it's maybe shifting slightly, but there's maybe an argument on the men's side with Djokovic and on the women's side with Iga Swiatek that the best movers and the best defenders are actually the ones that are having the success in this game. You know, and obviously it's potentially changing a little bit with Sabalenka, Rybakina coming in. Maybe their strength's not their defense. Their best way of defending is by attacking, I guess. And similar, I mean, Alcaraz has the defense. Obviously, Sinner's a big hitter. Maybe not known as the best defender, but he's got the lockdown mode as well. But because of that, I just can't look past Iga Swiatek. She's won all of those Grand Slams. Movement is at the absolute heart of that. Her ability to get in and out of corners, her ability to slide in behind the ball. And I've seen it firsthand at Sort of Tennis Academy how hard she works to do that. So Iga Swiatek is my defender and mover. Mentality. Again, lots of hands could go up here. Lots of hands could go up in here. You're not top 8 in the world. All of these women have won, if not one tournament, multiple tournaments this year. All of these women have overcome adversity to the nth degree. You know, we all know it. Anyone in the tennis world knows it. To win a junior tournament, to be a decent junior, to go to college, to play well in college, to then win pro events at a lesser level or lesser stage of professional tennis, you have to be incredible. So to actually be at this stage of tennis, you've smashed it. You've smashed it. You know, like what can be said? You know, so they all deserve a shout out. But having spent 3 weeks in China and having seen that this young woman is now a gold medalist and is carrying a country of 1.4 billion on her shoulders, the first ever female athlete on the front cover of Vogue, someone who is a superstar, superstar in a country like China, in a continent like Asia. She has absolute star quality. She has an aura about her. She was at the football this evening. You know, she just walks in and you're like, oh my goodness, like she has this absolute aura. And that is Qinwen Zheng, who I have to say, to have that mentality, she's had a brilliant year. She's had a fantastic end to this year. Obviously, she started the year well, finalist in Australia. She's finished the year incredibly well, arguably the second most informed player right now, going in, plays Sabalenka tomorrow. Because of it, she is my pick for the mentality. Now, the last one that was on there was personality. And anyone that knows me will know that is one of my big beliefs. It's like the personality, the performer skill, the way that you put that out there in anything that we do in life almost comes first, right? It's the same when I'm having conversations with coaches coming to the academy. I believe it's the same in almost any field of work, of life, the personality, the ability to be with people. And I am just so mightily impressed with all of them, but I'm mightily impressed with the current world number 1. She just overtaken Iga in Arina Sabalenka. We've spoken about her the last few days. We've spoken about her TikToks. We've seen she just has this big personality. She does, and she's backing herself, and she's got this team around her, and she is putting it on the court. She's engaging with the fans. She has gone from someone who was struggling on her serve big time a couple of years ago. That isn't even a question anymore. She's starting to put the Grand Slams in her pockets. She is arguably the best player of 2024. Time will tell. The obviously races on for her and Iga this week to see who's going to finish it. But for me, that personality shines through. It shines bright like a diamond. And because of that, yes, she's an incredible tennis player, but because of that, I believe it's giving her an edge on the tennis court right now as well. So a big well done. There is our ultimate tennis player, the serve Rybakina, the return Pegula, the forehand Paolini, the backhand Coco Gauff, the net play Krejcikova, the slicing and dicing, the variation Emma Navarro, the defense and the movement Iga Swiatek, the mentality Qinwen Zhang, and the personality Aryna Sabalenka. Not a bad player, huh? Not a bad player at all. And that's it. That's what we've got for tonight. If anyone did have a question, please do send it through. A couple of people here that have said it just before we go. A big thank you to Windermere Jones for the kind words. Love the show, Dan. Sending good vibes to Team Erin and Gabby for the finals. Thank you so much. Yeah, the girl, we've had a right laugh. We've had a lot of hard work put in this week, but I want the girls to do two things this week. I want them to enjoy every moment, embrace every challenge, but to leave no stone unturned. You know, professionalism in everything we do, the planning, the execution, how they are on the court, the energy, all of those things, and I believe they're in a great place. Another question here from Competitive. I don't know if that's your first name, but sorry if I don't know what your first name is. But out of the players to make this year's WTA finals, whose tennis do you think will improve the most over the next 2 or 3 years? Wow, what a question that is. I would go honestly on this one. I think it's relatively easy for me, this question. I'd love to get my teeth into it at some point, but I don't think I'll be on the list anytime soon. Coco Gauff. I just think Coco, oh my goodness, she's just got it all. She's got it all, and she seems to have a little bit of a mental block right now. She's young on the serve. I saw a stat the other day, like if she reduced the double faults, she would be world number one. You know, that's easy to say. You know, I think there's just her upside for me is the biggest. You know, we saw it last year. Obviously, we've seen it. She's been incredibly consistent. She's incredible, and we've got to remember she's so young still. But I think her upside is off the charts. I really do. I think she has everything, and I think a couple of little adjustments that I know her team working hard on. A little bit more maturity, a little bit more just being used to this environment. You know, you learn. You see, go back to TikTok. You see Coco Gauff's TikTok. She's a young girl. You know, she is still. You know, and she's kind of grown up before our eyes, and she's a superstar. She really is in everything that she does. But for me, Coco Gauff has the biggest upside over the next 2 or 3 years. And I really hope we see it. I think she's already having a great career, but I think she could have a quite sensational career. I really do believe that. I think it's all in place. So that's it. Thank you for your questions. I'll get to, I know there's a couple more. I'll get to those maybe tomorrow night. We will be back hopefully in our normal time slot of 8 p.m. tomorrow night in the UK, 11 p.m. in Saudi. Just see my eyes before they've got some bags. I'm loving it here, but with everything going on, maybe sleep's been overlooked a little bit. So we'll get some sleep back here in Riyadh, and we will be back tomorrow. Thank you all for joining. But until next time, I'm Dan Kiernan, and we are Control the Controllables.